everybody, today I'll be showing you how you can create an interaction system, a simple one in Unreal Engine 5, especially that we made last video, we made a crosshair into our viewport. So let's get started. So first of all, this is going to be, first of all, let me just drag this up here. And then, first of all, what should we do? Basically, I want to get into my content browser, and then first person blueprint and first person character. We go open the first person character blueprint. So what we're going to do here, so basically we're going to create a line trace. And what is a line trace exactly? Okay, let me explain something. So we want to create an interaction system where you open a door, right? Think about it in real life. How do you open a door in real life? You go right there to the door and open it. You don't open it when you're not facing the door, right? That's exactly what I'm gonna show you now. So, for example, let me just paint this and explain it to you. If I'm a person right here, and that's my forward direction, as you can see, this is my forward direction, okay? And then here is a door, that's my door, right? If I want to open a door, how can I, of course, we're in a real engine. It's not a human. You're not a human in a real engine. So basically, you need to add the logic. So the logic is going to be, if I am facing the door or whatever I want to interact with, I'm going to draw a line trace. Whereas if I hit something with this line trace, this means I'm facing it in the correct. نعم. آم، لا بيحبوهم حبوهم حلوين حب محمد. خلي بقى المطبخ كمان أو أي حاجة وتصدق معلش يا ماما. So so basically if I have sorry, so let me just explain it to you. Suppose I'm this person and this is my forward vector, the direction I'm facing, and this is my door, okay? If I want to, okay, so in real life, you have a brain. You know how to open the door. You know, you can't just be 20 miles away from the door and open it normally. You cannot. That's literally not nature at all. So you have to be in a specific distance to the door, and you should be facing the door and not facing it. How can I say it? I don't know. Okay, you shouldn't be in the opposite direction. You shouldn't be facing the door backwards. You should be facing it forwards. That's why we're doing a line trace. So yes, so the line trace is like it's a line or a sphere. It could be sphere trace too. So if I draw a line trace in a real engine and just do this, okay, and it could be any length by the way. So if I draw this line trace right here, and then this is not, so yeah, if I draw it right here, suppose I draw it right here, um, if this line trace hits the door, I mean, finds the actor in the specified distance, in the distance that we specified, then it's going to say that we hit the actor. So, and from the hit actor, we're going to get some more information, and I'm going to show you how in a minute. But for now, let me just teach you this. And if you're still confused, feel free to repeat it again. And feel free to ask if you are confused or not, if you're still confused. And by the way, you can actually that's quite too far from the door. You cannot open the door from right here. Apparently, in Unreal Engine 5 you can do that, but according to nature and physics, you can never do that. So basically, if just suppose I'm here, yeah, I want to draw this from here. So I'm going to suppose I want to determine where my door should be. Here, here, here. If it's here, I'm going to draw a great, a very long line trace. If it's here, I'm going to really just line trace is going to be this. And if I want the door to be too close to me, then I should draw the line trace to be this length, only this length, this way. Okay, so now let me show you. Now let me go to the coding. So first of all, I'm going to create a custom event. And what is a custom event exactly? A custom event is these nodes, every node here has a function, okay? But this custom event is your custom function. You create it and tell it to do a specific thing, and then you can call it anytime. Let's just rename it and name it create line trace. Create interaction create interaction trace. Now, if I wanna draw the line trace. You can normally, it's okay if you wanna just um code this, write this code right here. But for me, I'm just going to do it in a function. So if you make a better game, a better game, you can use this function and not have to write this code all the way again. So let's just create a function from here, and then we're going to name it interaction trace, or maybe you could say trace, interaction trace maybe. Okay, now what should the function include? It should basically include the nodes or our way of how to draw this line trace. So basically we want this function to draw a line trace for us. Let me show you how. Drag of this, and then search for sphere trace by channel. And as I told you before, sphere trace by channel or line trace by channel are both kind of the same. They just kind of do the same job, okay? Okay, as I explained right here in this painting. And now let me determine a start position. So, what is my start position? My start position, as you can see, let me just get back here and show you from the start. Okay, if I'm here, if I wanted to detect something, maybe the door, how can I detect it? Okay, first of all, my start position is going to be my location. I want to start from right here, and not maybe from right here or here or here. I want to start from right here, from my location. And then, where is it gonna end? It's going to end right there, here. So it's going to start from my location, and then it's going to end, which means extend from my start point right here on my location, and then end on the position I choose, which is going to be my forward vector. So it's going to start from my location here and then go all the way to the forward. That's exactly what we're going to do. And if you're confused, feel free to ask me. I can reply to all your questions and explain, even especially if your native language is Arabic. Mine is Arabic, so I can teach you in Arabic if you want. So, so my start position. What did we say? The we wanted the world location, which is my location. So my world location is my location. I'm going to get my first person camera, which is this one, the location of my camera. So basically, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, I mean, yeah, my camera determines the position, okay? Because this is a first person. Anyways, you just get the position of this one. I'm not sure if I can use the mesh. I haven't really used it for this purpose, except for the third person. So I'm not really sure, but I'll just show you how we can do exactly, okay? So I'm going to get my world location, get world location. And by the way, if you're wondering where the camera is located, my camera is located here. If you go to the viewer, this is my camera. I want the line trace to spawn from the location of my camera. Okay? And then get back to my function, and then yeah, get the world location. And what is going to be my endpoint? My endpoint, as I said, is going to be my forward vector. So basically, here that's my starting position. Now, what's going to be my ending position? My ending position, as I said before, in this painting, is going to be my forward vector. How can I get it? from the first person character 2, I'm going to get my rotation because I'm going to get the forward vector, which is my rotation to the forward, okay? So get world rotation. And then I'm going to get from here and say get forward vector. I already explained these. So basically, first of all, I'm going to start off from my world location, which is the world location of the first person camera. So I'm going to get my rotation, which is going to be the forward vector, so it could be the end. But isn't that only enough? No, it's not. So it's not complete, you know. If I start the world location for my world location, yeah, the start point, and then the ending is going to be the world rotation. Okay, it's going to have so many issues. So I have to add these two together so I can have my location. So we could tell Unreal Engine that I want to draw a line trace from my current location to from my current location. So it could tell Unreal Engine that I want to draw line trace according to my location and also my rotation, and not only one of them. So I'm going to get right here and multiply. Why do I multiply? Uh, just let me just convert this. Right click here and just to float. So it could be one value, not so we don't go along and keep assigning values to x, y, z, all that. Just let's do a float. And then I want to multiply. What is the multiplication doing here? So basically, the multiplication is exactly here in this part is the length. So if I multiply it by 500, it's going to be giving me a length of 500. If I multiply it by 1000, it's going to give me a length for the line trace of 1000 exactly. So yeah, I'm going to use 1000 for now, and I'm just going to oh yeah, and edit. Now we go to add the two vectors that are set, both as I said, because we wanted to draw the line trace according to our location and the rotation at the same time, and not one of them only. Okay. Now, moving on. Yeah, what's a draw debug type? So basically, draw debug is the type is when the line trace is visible. Here, it's not going to be visible because it's set to none. But if I do, yeah, these are options for it being visible. We usually use for duration, and here I'm going to set my radius, my sphere radius, 3. We're going to set it to 3. You can totally play around with these values. And now, what should I do next? So, this sphere trace out hit means if I hit something. So I'm going to break hit result, which means which gives me the information of the object I hit. And from right here, just drag it and select B on your keyboard, and you'll get a branch. So a branch is a true or false. So I give you a condition, and you tell me if it's true, what to do if it's true, and what to do if it's false. We forgot to do something actually, which was doing the blueprint interface. I'm so sorry I forgot to do that. Just leave this here for now, and let's go on and create the blueprint interface for real quick. I'm just going to create a new folder and call it maybe interaction system. Now we're going to create blueprint interface. So what's exactly a blueprint interface? Sorry. So right click here and then click blueprint interface, and you can call it whatever. I'm just going to call it BBI interaction. And you need to click it and then create a new function which is going to be interact, because that's the thing we want to do. We want to create this function for interact. What are we going to do when we interact and when we hit the interact button on our keyboard? That's exactly what's going to do. And we also have to create another variable, another function, which is basically going to be can receive trace, which means if I receive the line trace, which means if I have the line trace, okay? If I receive the line trace, if the actor receives the line trace. I'm going to explain this in a minute, don't worry. Oh, we actually have to, in this function, we do actually have to add an input, which is going to be a boolean. The variable is a boolean is a true or false, okay? And I'm going to create a boolean of can interact. So basically a boolean is just like a question, and then I said this, Unreal Engine doesn't know what I'm doing here. It just knows I created a variable, but does it know what I did here? No, it doesn't. So that's why we're going to assign this, and I'm going to show you. So we're going to check if I can interact with this, um, with this one or not. Okay, and then in my first person character, I'm going to check if my character. So if I when I hit, and then we're going back to the interaction trace. Now we're done with the blueprint. Now we're done with the blueprint interface. Close it, and now let's get back to this line trace. So basically, if I so what should I do if I hit the actor? The hit actor, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to check if my actor has this blueprint interface that I created. And why? Because I want to know if this actor is can I interact with it or not. And if it doesn't have this interface, then I cannot interact with it, obviously. So what's that note that allows us to know if we have the interface or not? It's called does object implement interface. And we're going to select the interface that we just created. Now, we're going to, yeah, this is going to be our condition. We're going to check first if our actor has this interface. Okay, now it has the interface. We're going to check another thing. We have to check another thing, which is going to be checking if the actor that we just hit right now is the same actor we hit before. So here we get this actor that we hit right now and check if it's not equal, if this actor is not equal to the actor that we hit before. Okay? And what's the actor that we hit before? I'm going to tell you right now in a moment. And this is going to be the actor, get this. And then, yeah. Yeah, wait. I'm just going to promote this hit actor to a variable. And I'm going to call it the trace item. Okay? I'm just going to set it right here. And if I actually, and I'm just going to explain it right now. So if my hit actor, the actor I hit right now, is not equal to, is not the same item as the item I hit before, is it true? Then I'm going to set this actor that I hit now to the actor I'm hitting. Now let's check again what we did. So first of all, here in the function, we create a function to create a line trace for the objects to create a line trace for the object we want to hit. So my starting point is going to be my world location, and my ending point is going to be my forward vector, okay, of a length of 1000. Then I'm going to add these two, my location and rotation, and add it to the end. And my width is going to be 3. You can play around with this, don't worry. And this is going to be for duration, just for debugging purposes, okay? And here, if I hit something, I'm going to check the break hit results. I'm going to check the info of this item I hit. So basically, a break hit result is the info, contains the info of the object I hit. And now, if I hit something, I'm going to check if it has this interface, which is basically like I'm asking if this object I hit is interactable or not. If it has this interface, this means it's interactable. So that's why, if it's true, I'm going to ask another question. I'm going to ask if my hit actor, if the actor I hit right now is not the same as the actor I hit before. If it's not the same as the actor I hit before, I'm going to set the actor I hit before, which is basically my current item that I hit before hitting a new object, to this new object. Now, remember the function that we created in the blueprint interface? Exactly. We created a can receive trace. So my can receive trace, I'm going to drag it here and say can receive trace. And now remember the boolean? Yes, exactly. That's where we're setting it exactly. Now, if I didn't, on the second branch where we checked if um, yeah, on the first branch where we checked if the item is interactable or not. If it's not interactable, no, I cannot. We cannot interact with this item. So I'm going to can receive interface and set this to false. Hope that explains it well for you guys. Oh, forgot the you have to connect this target to the trace item, which is basically get this and then yeah. You can just Control Shift S to save everything. Back to the event graph, and in the create interaction trace, what should this function, this event do? It should play this function we made, which is basically creating the interaction trace. I'm sorry guys if this tutorial is long, but I'm really just trying to make it so deep, not just a copy and paste tutorial. I'm just trying to explain it deeply so we could understand it. Now, I need a key. I need to press something in order to interact with stuff. So I'm going to, you can actually, there's two ways for this. I'm going to explain the two ways just for further knowledge, you know? First, I can just, the easy where is right click, now, key, and select any key. You can actually select the key you have and then right click here, and then say the key you want. For example, I want to use E. Now this is the first way. The second way is going to my input actions and create an input action. Before I set the button, I should set this. Okay, I should create this, which is basically right click and then input actions. Where was this? Input action. That's here. You don't have to do anything inside of it. You literally don't need to do anything inside of it. You just need to go back to the input and then in the IMC default, which is basically the place in which we set this input action. We set the keybind we're using for this input action. Just click on the plus and then just click on the plus here and then here I'm going to add my interact and then press on the key I want. And then in my first person, I'm just going to right here and call it IA underscore interact. But remember guys, if you want to do this interaction, use the start and not the press. You can know the difference by testing. It's not really, yeah, it's easy to know. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using the input action. Now for that, I'm just going to interact from the start. I'm going to call remember the function I used. Remember the function I used in the blueprint interface? Exactly. We're gonna call it, which is going to be interactive. And actually, each actor you assign this blueprint interface to is going to have a different way of interaction. That's why we just call interaction, and then the blueprint interface takes care of the rest. And you're gonna see when we set it up. Basically the trace item. Yeah, the trace item. We're going to interact with the trace item, which is the item we hit. I'm going to, on my event begin play, which is basically when I start the game. Now right here, I already have the begin play, so if you already have the begin play, it won't let you call it twice. It will just drag you here. So in order, if you have this, just drag this and click S on your keyboard, and click S on your keyboard, and then it's going to have a sequence. If you want to do more than one thing in the event begin play, just do the sequence. So basically just drag it here so I can get this. So from the event begin play, I'm going to set timer by function name. I'm going to set a timer by function. So what is a timer by function? I want to do a function that repeats that keeps repeating every certain duration of time. I'm just going to set this time to be 0.01. By the way, it's kind of the same as the event tick, more precise. It's much better, you know. So now, oh, make sure it's looping. We want it to loop, not be done once. And then my interaction. So I'm going to set this timer to a variable. Right click and promote it to a variable, and I'm gonna call it the interaction timer. So what does the set timer by function name mean? It's going to repeat a function I create in this duration of time and loop and loop and loop. Make sure to check loop. And here, I want to, what's the function name? The function name is basically the function that we created right now. We want to repeat this function. We want to, each time on the begin play, we want to create a trace. Not just when we press the key. No, we want to create it each time. We want to create it all the way through our game. Just get this and make sure to get the exact name. So copy this one, Control C, and paste it right here. We want the exact same name. And here we go, compile and save. And now this one is going to play. But what's the function okay. Now on the event begin play to, I'm just going to take this widget and I'm going to transfer it here. So basically we don't need a sequence anymore. Just drag it off here, drag it over here, and then I'm going to create my widget blueprint. That's basically going to just play in the event begin play too. Remember the crosshair we did? Yeah, exactly. So as you can see right here, that's the line trace. That's the line trace drawing, as you can see, from 8,000. See? It's drawing right now. That's line trace. That's what I'm meaning to tell you guys. And now work is done here in this first person. Now you can easily just close the first person. Now I'm going to create my real actor. I need an actor to interact with. For example, I'm just going to use a door. It's easy as that. Let me just, yeah. I'm going to, by the way, we don't do an actor, a blueprint class of an actor for each type individually. We do a parent for them, and then they follow the parent. So basically, the parent actor is nothing. We don't use it. We use the childs of it. We create childs, and these childs are going to be the door, the cups, or anything. And the master actor blueprint class has the um, common properties among these all of these actors. It doesn't have yeah, you have to put all of the stuff you put inside of the interact in the blueprint class actor base must be common among all of the interactable items you have. Now right click blueprint class and actor. And actor is basically anything that you can place here in this map. And now bp underscore interactable interact master. Exactly. Now what should we do here? Basically, all we need to do is we're going to create a bunch of stuff actually, guys. It's going to be a really big tutorial for this, but okay. Now, guys, what exactly are we going to include in our interact master? So basically, first of all, we gotta add some stuff here to our mesh itself. What is it going to be? First of all, I need a static mesh, which is basically going to be the actor we're going to interact with. Maybe the door is a static mesh, a cup is a static mesh, a drawer is a static mesh, all of that is a static mesh. Now, just click here. And then we'll have to do two things too. So I'm going to create a collision, a sphere collision. You can do a box collision, anything exactly, it doesn't really matter. What is this collision going to represent? It's going to represent the place we enter. If I entered, so if I'm standing right here, then I cannot interact. But if I'm standing right here, yes, I can interact. That's exactly why. And by the way, we're going to play a little with the values. Oh, it can be a box solution too, guys. You can do any either of those. It doesn't matter. So, what is going to be the scale of this? Basically, I'm just gonna scale it to maybe 5 or something. It's just according to your preferences. Nothing special. Wait, guys, something's wrong here. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of big or not. We're going to check this later on. Oh, by the way, guys, make sure that the sphere collision is not inside of the static mesh. Make sure it's in the default scene in the default scene route and not to the static mesh. We want it to be separated from it. And in static mesh, I'm going to add a widget. What is our widget exactly? It's going to be the icon we're using to interact, okay? It's going to be widget. Just widgets, not widget interaction. Now, what should we do next? So we want to do stuff when being in this collision and when being outside this collision. How can we do that? Click on our collision, which is going to be a sphere. You can just name it trigger so you don't get confused. And now scroll down there and you'll find these uncomponent begin overlap, which means the player being here, and uncomponent and overlap, which means when the player gets out of the zone. We're going to be using both. Okay. Now think about the stuff we want to do when we're inside of the trigger, inside of this zone. What should we do exactly? So basically, we want to check first if we want to cast to first person character. What does cast means? Cast means we want to check if the person or the character who stepped into this region is actually us, the first person character. And now this is going to be the other actor, okay? Same thing too for the end overlap. We also need to check. And here I'm going to check if I can interact. Yeah, we're going to create a variable here and call it can interact. Interact. Yeah, this is another variable. Oh, sorry guys. We're going to drag it over here, and then this is going to be our condition. If we can interact, then I'm going to create a widget. What's our widget? The widget that, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that the widget we're going to be using is, sorry guys, this is just because of the compiling error. We're going to fix it in a minute. The widget is going to be the icon that says use or E, yeah. And I'm just going to import it real quick. Now that I imported it into my content drawer, this is my interaction widget. I'm just going to leave it in the description, by the way. Now I'm going to select the, yeah, I forgot guys, sorry. We forgot to create a widget for this. We have to create a widget for the, yeah. So now now guys, after importing this, we have to create a widget for it, same as this widget too. Just so we could create the widget. Because we can just have the picture and it can be. So now let's just create the widget ASAP. Now I'm going to right click and this, and then I'm just going to widget blueprint, use widget, and then we're gonna call it, yeah. First of all, guys, I just need to call it so I don't get confused. So first of all, I just need to name it. Maybe, oh, I got confused. Wait, what's that? Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna name it again. Widget underscore the interact. Sorry guys about this. Now, what do we do in this exact widget? Basically, first of all, I need a vertical box. What is a vertical box? Basically, um, a vertical box is like a container widget that stacks child widgets vertically from top to bottom. Now drag this vertical box here. So it basically contains the child and just arrange them from top to bottom. And now we drag this right here. Now we need to add a border. So what is exactly a border? The border is it's just for organizing purposes. You don't have to add it, it's optional, but we just use it for organizing the stuff inside of here. Not really important. Now, what do we add to our border? We add the image, which is going to be our interaction image, this one. Now that we added it, let's now do something. So basically, in my vertical box, not the vertical box, sorry guys, I'm just going to go to my border, and then it's going to just click on right here. By the way, as I told you before, guys, it's just the alignment, okay? So so what am I going to do is I'm going to align the border. Now, guys, all we gotta do right here is align the border to the center horizontally, and now I'm going to in the padding. What is the padding? The padding is like spaces in left, right, up, down, and this kind of stuff. I'm just gonna name it all one. Give them all values of one. It's by the way, as I said before, border is optional, and these values you can view them according to your wish. My image is going to be the image I just imported, which is going to be this one. Just click on it, and then this arrow, and now we have it. Um, and by the way, guys, we do need to do something about this. Oh yeah, I forgot something, guys. Just click here and then desired on screen. So it gives you the desired it gives you like as you can see like that. How can I explain it to you? Just let me explain it to you visually like that. As you can see, this is in the full screen and this is in the screen. See what it is? That's exactly what it does. Um, and now, yeah, that's surely what we want to do. But we do want to actually just reduce kind of its size, I guess. So I'm just going to brush and then image size, and I'm gonna reduce it to 40 and 50. These are good values, by the way, guys. These are really good values. Now, exactly as we said, I really did forget to remove the background, but you can remove it anytime. Oh wait, I remember. We can debug it if there's something wrong with it. Anyways, now guys, um, after that, I want to do an animation for this widget. What can I do for this widget as an animation? I first want to click here. Oh, we're going to animate the vertical box, not this image. Okay, vertical box, and then create animation, and then pop. I'm just gonna not okay, pop. And then I'm going to click on it, and then add to the vertical box. Okay, now this one, and we're going to add a transform, which is basically so we could um play around with the scale and a render opacity. What's the render opacity? I mean, if it's faded, like if I want it to be invisible. So basically like that, it's not going to be there. If I set this render opacity 0, it's not there. If I set it to 1, it's there. So what I'm going to do on the first frame, on the 0 frame, we're going to set the render opacity to be 0 at first because I want it to be fading out, and click this key. And this key, sorry guys. And I want it to have a, and then go right here in the middle, and then in the 0.10 in the scale, and then I'm going to set this to 1.1, basically. I'm going to select it, and let me just check something, guys. Yeah, this one is going to be back to 1. By the way, this is optional. This animation, you could animate it the way you want. If you want it to pop up in a sizing animation, you could do whatever you like. It's just according to preferences. As you can see, that's the animation. Great, right? Okay, now click on this so we can get out of this animation. And our default render opacity should be 0. We don't want it to be invisible. We want it to be visible by default. Guys, we have to do so many stuff here. So So basically, back here into our component begin overlap. So that just so you guys don't get lost, we did a begin overlap when I step into this region. Sorry, we have to create it. So yeah. So the widget just so you guys don't get confused, I'm going to go over this again. I'm going to begin overlap. When I get into the region of this trigger that we specified, I'm going to check if the first person character is the one overlapping. If it's the first person character overlapping, I'm going to check if I can interact. If I can, oh yeah, by the way, can interact must be true by default. True by default, guys. And if I can interact, then I'm going to create a widget, which is going to be my interactive widget right here. As you can see, it's all fixed. And then when I create the widget, I'm going to just promote this to a variable so I have the widget reference for action widget reference. Sorry guys, I have a problem with the caps here. Interaction reference widget. That's just a reference. And I'm going to set my current widget is empty, by the way. I'm going to set my current widget to, oh yeah, there's a function in our engine called set widget, which basically sets this widget here into the widget that we want to set, which is this widget, just like that. So we're going to set this widget into this widget, just like that. By the way, you can just double tap in order to have these notes so we can be more organized, as you can see. Yeah. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to set the visibility of the widget to be visible. Target is going to be the widget too. And then I'm going to get my interaction widget reference. Yeah, so it can be, yeah, so visibility, so the widget could be visible again. Now I'm going to get my interaction widget reference and then get it and then convert to right click and convert to valid get. So convert to valid get just checks if it's valid available in here or not in the game or not. So we're going to check if it's valid or not. And if it's valid, I'm going to ask something. This question is going to be another variable called hint visible. The hint is the widget, the E. The E is the hint. So if it's visible, by the way, by default, it should not be default. It should not be visible. Now drag it up here. You get it? Yeah, and this is going to be our question. So is the hint visible? If it's not visible, then I want it to be visible, right? Then I'm going to drag over here and I'm going to play the animation we just created that we want it to be visible. If it's not visible, I want to play the animation and be visible, right? A animation. Play animation. How can I tell you guys this? Yeah, just get this right here, drag of this, and then get pop animation that you created. And then I'm going to play animation of false. So if the hint is not visible, I'm going to play the animation in order to make it visible. And then the target is going to, the one playing the animation is the widget. Okay? And then make sure it's forward. This means it's playing this way. And in reverse, it means it's playing this way. The playback speed, it's up to you. I'm just going to make it 1.5. Now, now I'm just going to drag it here and set. So after I played the animation, was the hand visible? So before I played the animation, the hand wasn't visible. Now I played the animation, which means the hint should now be visible. So I'm going to take this invisible and set it to true, which, and in this way I'm saying that the hint is now visible. Now this is a way of setting the variables. You set it while coding. If you're an absolute beginner, it might take you time to understand how you can set these variables, but don't worry, you'll get them over time. Now, one more thing. Now that the hint is visible, we need to do one more thing, which is going to be creating a new variable, which is called can press E, which is going to be a boolean, asking if I can press E. Now that the hint is visible. Now, when the hint is visible, I should be able to press key right now. Sorry, guys. Now that the hint is visible, I should be able to press E to set it to true. Now guys, that's all we have to do here. Now let's drag this here so we have more space. Compile and save. By the way, compile is for checking if there are errors or not. Now guys, let's do on leaving the region. On leaving the region, I'm going to check if I'm the first person character. And I'm going to do something really important. So I'm going to check again if I can interact. By the way, you can interact by default, so yeah. If I can interact, then I'm going to check if my widget right here, from convertibility get, is valid in the game. If it's valid, or if it, or in other words, if it's constructed, I want to check if the hint is visible, the E is visible. And if it's actually visible, I want to play the animation again. Just copy this, okay? Copy these two variables, Control C, Control V. And if it is available, I want to play this animation, but in reverse, which basically means we're going to select this and reverse. And now I'm going to set now my hint is not my hint. After playing this reverse animation, my hint should not be visible. And after pressing, and after the hint is not visible, we cannot press E. So yeah, so the press E to false, like that. Uncheck it. And then I want to do a delay. What is it actually delay? We're going to wait until like a bit of the animation is finished. We don't want to remove it. Yeah, I want to show you something why we added delay. Delay is for waiting for a period of time. So we want to wait for like for 0.15. Remember when we made the animation? It was the duration 0.20. That's why we want it to be 0.15 when it's about to be, when it's right here, we want it to disappear. Yeah, so just 0.15, wait for the animation to complete 0.15, and then when it's completed 0.15 of the animation, I'm going to remove it from parent. Oh, sorry guys, there's no remove it. Complete it. Oh, sorry guys. I really need to remove from. I don't know why it's not. Oh, sorry guys. We have to actually get the interaction widgets reference and then remove this widget from parents. Remove it. We're going to delete it from here. And then set the interaction widget reference to none. Now the widget reference should be now none. So we shouldn't have any widget on here on us. Now I'm going to set my visibility of the widget to be, oh wait guys, I have to get the widget again here and set the visibility to be non-visible. We want it to be not visible. And now it's all done. Not exactly done. Let me just show you another thing. we do have, if here in the first branch, if we cannot interact, then just go right here into the delay and connect it to the delay. Just like that. Kind of messed up, but okay, but okay. Now we're done with the overlapping. Oh, wait, I forgot that we. Wait, guys, there's something wrong here, which I really. Oh yeah, the target. The target should be the widget. Sorry, guys. Now I do really want to check something, guys. Yeah, that's exactly the begin and end overlap. I just comment it. Begin and overlap. That's exactly what we're gonna do. What we want to do today. We're not done yet. This is quite a long tutorial to follow, but yeah, at least it's in depth. Now, I do want to do something. I want to. Oh yeah, just for testing purposes, guys. We want to test it and check if I do actually um if it's actually working or not. So we're gonna just get here and then print a string on overlapping and say hello. And I'm going to also print a string here on ending overlap and say bye. Now just drag the where's our import it to a different one. Should import it here. Yeah, here. I'm going to get my interaction master. I'm going to get there. This debugging is so annoying. Sorry guys. Focus on the oh. I just forgot to make it visible in game so we could see it. Sorry, viewport and then trigger should be visible in game. Yeah. Wait, hidden in game? No, we want to check this out. Now yeah. Now so you can see it. Now check this box. Hello? If we leave, bye. Now we now check if it's working or not. Because guys, I just really wanna close this. Now we don't need this anymore. Now it's working just fine. Now we wanna do two more stuff. We wanna do a receive trace. We wanna set the receive trace and the focus on widget. What's a focus on widget? Basically, when the widget spawns, I want to basically the widget to be facing me all the time. Oh guys, so now guys, we need to use the receive trace function that we use in the blueprint interaction, the blueprint interface. We forgot to do something. We forgot in the class defaults to add an interface. Just type here interface, which is going to be our interface. Oh wait, class settings. And this interface, implement interface, is going to be our interface that we just created, which is going to be BPI interaction. Now it's all set. Now you can see it right here. Drop this down. Can receive. Yeah, choose this one, not this one. Now I'm going to check if I can interact. That's where we're assigning the interact. If we can interact, now I'm going to check if it's true. If we can interact, then we check if we can interact from this one. Yeah, if this one can interact too. Get my interaction widget reference and convert it to a validated get and check if it's constructed in our game or not. And I'm going to check it as valid branch. So basically, um, when I check, so if it's valid, I need to ask a question. which is the hint visible? So if my hint is visible, I want to play an animation, which is going to be the pop and play animation. True? No, of false. If it's not visible, I want to play an animation of forward and 1.5 for short. So it's basically kind of the same thing we did here. Okay? Now we're going to set the hint visible, as we said when we played the animation. Now it's visible. And now, can press E? Yes, we can press E. What should we do next? Oh yeah, don't forget to connect the target to this one. Okay? Now we're done here. Now we need to do another thing. On our false, if I cannot interact, then I'm going to check again. Just copy these and then paste them. Going to edit them a bit. Now if I cannot interact, I'm going to get my widget and check if it's valid. I need to check first if the end is visible. If it's not, yes, if it's not visible, I need to play an animation, which is going to be in reverse. Going to be the animation in reverse, so we could make this hint disappear. And then make the hint not visible and the campus E to false. Now that's exactly what we're gonna do here, and we're gonna just comment this as receive trace. Now one more thing is basically just making a focus on a widget. So on the event tick, we're going to use an event tick. What's an event tick? An event tick is basically it's like the event begin play, but the event begin play makes something only one time. The event tick keeps looping every time, loops every time during your game. Now, an event tick, I'm going to get my widget, and of course I want it to rotate with me, so I'm gonna set its rotation. Set world rotation to. Now, how can we make ourselves look at it? We're going to get out of rotation and find and use a variable called find look at rotation. This is going to help us focus on the widget. Find look at rotation. I'm going to get the starting point is going to be my widget and get world location. I'm going to get its location. And the target is going to be our player camera, get player camera manager, and I'm going to get the transform component. By the way, in order to get the rotation, we can't just get the in order to get the world location, we can't just get the world location from the get player camera manager. As you can see, location. We can't just get the world location. We want the world location, not the camera location. So we have to get the transform component and then get its world location, and here. So we want this location to match this location. Now this is how we set it. Focus on widget. Now we're basically done here. Now one more thing, guys, we want to do our door. Okay, let's create our door. Just go right here, right click, create child blueprint, and BP underscore our door. There's a door asset that you can get, which since I must do this door asset, I don't know if I don't have it right here, but if you want to have it, you just get the started content, ads, add feature content pack, content, started content, and then you add it, and then you'll be able to find it and here, okay. And then I'm just going to go to my door And now I'm going to do something. So my static mesh, I'm going to set it to the door, as you can see, SM door. You can actually set the door the way you want, guys. But I'm just, why am I doing that? Yeah, so just the collision a little bit, okay? So why am I doing this? So why am I using this only? Because it's just for tutorial purposes. I'm not really doing again right now. And then just adjust where you want the widget to be. Adjust its place. Okay, maybe right here. I don't know. Yeah, and now we should determine in the event graph. Now time to see, guys, to tell you guys what actually the interaction does to every single thing. We need to, in our door, we need to do some kind of stuff here, much less than the stuff we did before for sure, but now we're just going to do a little bit more. So in the event being play, I'm going to add a sequence. This should actually happen because it's parented. It must be happen, or else we really need it to be, so because that's why we don't delete it, we just use it as a sequence. Now, I'm going to set some stuff here. So I'm going to create a new variable called opened. I'm going to ask if the door is open. Okay. I'm going to also create another variable of original rotation. The original rotation of my door. And it's going to be a rotator because we're using rotation, right? Now, on event begin play, I'm going to get what is the original rotation? It's actually the rotation of our door right now. So how can we get the rotation of our door right now? We're going to just get the static mesh, okay? And get relative rotation. Yeah, that's the rotation of the static mesh, which is the door. And then, yeah, now we set this variable to this, okay? All done here. Now we do have one more thing to do. Now remember the interact function I told you about? We need it right now. Interact. Yeah, we're gonna call it this one. Yeah, interact. Not this one, not this one, sorry. Event, interact, this one. Now, what should I do in order to interact? Basically, that's where I do the custom interaction. It differs according to the thing you're using. So basically the door, in the interaction, I want it to rotate. In the another thing, I wanna hold it, right? Yeah, so different stuff, different, yeah, deal with it in different way, interact with it in different way. So first of all, when I interact, I need to do a branch. I need to ask something, which is, can I press E, get over here, and then can press either way. If you don't find it here, just drag on this and then find can press E. Can I actually press E? If I can press E, I want to check something again. Can I actually interact? Yes, you can interact. If I can interact, then I'm going to set the interaction to, to false. What are you saying? I mean, you are you nuts or something? Why do I check first if I can interact then set it to and not interacting then? That's because when I interact, I click on the bottom. So if it was actually so if I click on the bottom and I was able at first I was able to interact, okay? But when I click on the button, now I cannot interact. So basically that's why we set it to not interacting. Now when I'm not interacting, when I click on, I want to check another thing. I want to check if it's open. Is it open? If it's open, I want to sit. If it's already open and I click on the button, I want to close it. And if it's not open and I click on the button, if it's closed and I click on the button, I want to open it. Okay? The opposite. Okay. Now, if it was open and now it's closed, if it was open and now it's closed, I don't need to do anything else. No, I really do have to do something. We really need to add a timeline just for the smooth I want it to turn in a smooth way. I'm going to play here, and length might be 1. Actually, do this according to your preferences. It just do anything. I'm going to call this alpha. It's just a timeline, guys. So yeah, do whatever you like. It's basically the movement, not something special. Um, I really need something to do right here. Yeah. Now this is going to be a value. Yeah, I forgot. This length is going to be. I'm going to make this one. Yeah. And this set this to right click and set this to auto. Yeah, this is just makes it smooth. And now where we go? Yeah, into the door. Sorry guys. Now, what do we do next? So basically, when I rotate, I want to when I rotate, when if I so basically, when do I play it for the start? If I actually open the door now, if I'm actually opening the door, then I'm going to play this. If I'm closing it, then I'm going to play it from reverse. Now, on the updates, I want to set the relative rotation of the sandwich. I want to rotate it, right? Yeah, get it? And set its rotation, which is going to be set relative. Sorry guys about this. Relative rotation. We're going to set its rotation. Which basically means changing its rotation. I'm going to right click and split structure. That's because we want to assign this alone and assign this alone and this alone. So remember the original rotation we had? Exactly. We just get it right here and split this top spin because we want the X and Y and Z. When we rotate a door, we don't want to rotate the X or Y. We just want to rotate the Z, which is basically this, which basically rotating it like that. Okay? Oh, I really did something wrong here. Okay. Anyways, so the X is going to be my default X. It's going to be the default rotation, and this is going to be the default, the original, and this is going to be original. This is not going to change, which means we're basically not going to change. But this, we have to change it. So I'm going to change it to minus or subtract 90. I'm going to change it to negative 90, which is basically rotated 90 degrees. And then, how can I actually change the value of the z from the original to my new one? Do this. We can't just do this. No, that's wrong. We should get this and lerp. We use something called lerp. This lerp helps change a value from a change something from a value to another. This is the line check is going to be the timeline is going to be the alpha, by the way. So we're going to change it from the original z to the z we want, and then put it right here. We forgot to do something, guys. We should do this. Put these notes together. And then I'm going to wait for like a little bit. And then I can interact again after I wait for some period of time. So that it doesn't just keep being laggy. Wanna try it right now, guys? After this whole long tutorial, I really wanna try it. Bring this door here. Insert. Oh, I wanna just turn off this thing. I really wanna turn it off. Sorry, guys. But it's just annoying. Where is it? Okay, none. And now, just go right here and let's test it out. As you can see, now I can interact with it. Oh, the widget, I forgot. Yeah, the widget is, wait guys, sorry. Yeah, the widget, there's something wrong with the widget here. Oh, I put it right here. I put them in different places. Go onto my door and get my widget and maybe just place it down there since it was up too high. Now let me try this. Okay, guys. Anyways, this doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna. Oh wait, might it something's wrong with this? Oh, I forgot, guys. You have to get to the vertical. You have to go to the border, and then it's going to be the brush color is going to be transparent. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I literally forgot. I really forgot. And here we go. It's kind of small, but you can edit it. And by the way, yeah, this is kind of crazy. Yeah, it just does that. We do have one more issue to fix, which is putting it. It should have worked here. That's odd. Should be working now. Yeah, no, it works. Yeah, it's kind of acting weird, but yeah, as you can see, it plays the animation, as you can see. Yeah, and that moves. And now I can critically close it open. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe so you can support me, and I hope this video was really useful to you guys. Bye. 1.